Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello, folks. Welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and I have an ink to show you today. Hey, but while you're here and it's early, do y'all know how to get graphite out of a neoprene desk mat? Because I don't know how to get that off there. I should have thought better about that before I started using pencils near them, but like I don't know how to get it off there. Now it looks smudgy. I don't know. If you got a secret, give me the comment down there. All right, today we're talking about a fountain pen ink, and it is this one. This is Dr. P.H. Martin's. This is from the Ocean series. These come in 1 ounce bottles. This is Edge Blue right here. It has a little eyedropper top here. These are pigmented fountain pen inks, and they are waterfast, as we will almost certainly see here in just a little bit. But when I say these, it's because there are actually 3 of them. We've also got Dark Matter Black and Garnet Red Rose. There are only 3 of these. They're listed as new on the Dr. P.H. Martin's website, which is docmartins, docmartins.com. Link in the description to find them there. You can find them other places, but they seem really expensive at those places. They're $9.99 over at Dr. P.H. Martin's own website, and that's where I bought these. Oh, there it is, docmartins.com. I could just look on the side of the bottle, Mike. Now, on the side of these, it does say, Ocean Fountain Pen Ink is light, fast, archival, brilliant, fine artist pigment liquid color. The pigment-based fountain pen ink that will flow through without clogging. If tip of pen dries out, rinse under hot water to restart. I don't know about hot water, but like maybe medium. Use good quality paper only. Smooth, high gloss, or high quality stationery may not be suitable for all fountain pens. I would say, yeah, I'm gonna have some cautions at the end of the video, so stick around. But I've been using these long enough that I can tell you how they work in pens. I can show you some pens that they've been in for a long time. I can tell you about cleaning them out. I've got some datas. So let's take a look at what these look like on paper, because they are pretty great. All right, so here they are on my usual Nebula casual note paper. I know sometimes people are looking for a new fountain pen friendly paper to use that is white and like easy to get your hands on. Get some Nebula casual note. This stuff is great. I really like it, and it's white and it shows sheen and shading and all that jazz. It's very good. You got little dot grids. It's pretty great. So here is the black, and as you can see, this is a very dark black here. It does have that sort of pigmenty matte shine to it a little bit. Matte shine. I don't know. It's kind of a. I don't know. It's just kind of. I don't know. It's kind of matte looking, I guess, but it's also a little bit on the shiny side. I don't know. I don't know what the word is for that. Then we have Garnet Red Rose here, which is more pink perhaps than you would expect, I suppose, but definitely a reddish color here. You get a little bit of gold sheen on this one when you put down enough. You don't really see that in writing though. Mostly you just see this nice bright reddy, like pinkish red. Then we have Edge Blue, which is probably my favorite. I really like this one. And I put this one in a VAC 700 with a 1.1 stub because I just kind of wanted to see what it would do. The flow is on the wet side from that. I just wanted to see if it would be too much or what the deal was. But from all of these pens, 2 of these, by the way, were Ecos, and let's see, what is this one? Yeah, they're both supposed to be Eco Fines. I wanted to see if like I could clog them up or like if I can make them cause problems. So I have 2 fine nibs and then a 1.1 stub. So the end of that story is I didn't really have any problems with any of these. They don't seem to dry out in the nibs, at least not these. TWSBIs are very good at not drying out. I don't know if I would put this ink in something that will dry out, but throw it in a TWSBI Eco or a VAC or something like that because they just don't dry out, these pens. They have an excellent cap seal and they really do the job. Now, this is a TWSBI Eco T right here, as you can see from the sort of triangular cap, and it is filled with that ruby red garnet. I actually did just refill it because it's a great ink and I wanted more in there. It is, as you can see, pretty much opaque. You can see right here, that's where the bubble is in the chamber, but it is so opaque, like wild, right? And you are going to see some of it on your nib. That's just a thing. I mean, it'll just kind of be there. It's not like leaking or anything like that. That's just, you know, a little extra ink there from when I filled it probably. But you'll be able to see it on the back of the feed, and you'll be able to see it on the nib, you'll be able to see it in here, and that's all completely normal. I was impressed with this stuff, kind of blown away, honestly. This is the blue. Actually, the black I have cleaned out because I wanted to try cleaning out a pen with this, and specifically, I let it sit for a while because I wanted to see if it made it harder. So, more on that later. This is the TWSBI VAC 700, VAC 700R, I guess, actually. Yep, 700R. And you can see this has the blue. You can also see it's pretty darn opaque as well. I don't have any, stay in focus, there we go. I don't have any complaints about this. It has been working great in this 1.1 nib. It's still like very controlled. It writes just as well as it does in the fines. The fines write at least as well as this. I haven't had any problems at all. You can see I'm almost out. I've only got this much ink left in here. And I did let this sit for quite a while. I wanted to see if it would settle on the walls and be impossible to move, because that is a possibility with pigmented inks. And there's a lot of pigment in this one. As you can see, it is opaque. Now, I don't have the black one, like I said, because I cleaned it out because I wanted to see how that worked. So here's how it worked. It did take me a little bit of time to clean it out. And so I would say when it says like might not be suitable for all fountain pens down there, right there, I would say don't put it in things that you can't disassemble to clean. Like if you can't get the feed out, then you're probably not going to want to put this in there. If you can't, get into the barrel, maybe not the right pen. Cartridge converter pens, totally fine. TWSBIs have been totally fine with it because while it was a little bit difficult to clean out, the only place that it was really difficult to get the ink out of was down here around these little fins, because there's like little bits in here, and I couldn't really, like, shaking water through it and that sort of thing wasn't doing it because I think it was just hitting an eddy or something, and I was just like not able to get the little bits of pigment out there. So I got like a straw cleaner, like, the steel straws people have been using. I got one of those straw cleaners and I put it in there and kind of went like this a little bit, and it came right out with no problems. The feed was easiest to clean with an ultrasonic cleaner. That just made it a whole lot easier. I just threw it in the ultrasonic and let it clean it out. And it did take a little bit of time because pigmented inks, especially if you let them sit there for a long time, and I did that on purpose, they will just kind of like hang out in the feed, and it can be hard to get them out. But I didn't have any real problems with it. I just threw it in there. I didn't have to scrub it with a toothbrush or anything weird. It just, it took a little bit of time to get all of it out of there, but it wasn't a big deal. So it wasn't a problem, and it never stopped up my pen, even though I let it sit there for a long time. It just never really stopped up. Let's give this a little bit of let's give it a little squiggle, see what we're doing here. I haven't used this one in a while. Oh yeah, no problems at all. It's wild how well these things work, if I'm honest. This is just of course I lock the focus, then I get it closer. Good job. I just went and squiggled with that, and it's no problems at all. It does take a little bit of time to dry. If I put my finger on that right now, it would probably come away with a little bit of ink. Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time to dry. Pigmented inks can be like that. So if you're a lefty, maybe not the ink series for you. As you can see in the chromatographies here, there's not really any other color in here. The color in here is that pigment, and it's that one. There is a little bit of movement there, which I think is interesting because I don't know if there's going to be any movement up here in the water tests when we do those. But overall, I would say my analysis of this is really good. You're going to like it on, we'll look at it on some papers. We'll see if you're going to like it on some papers. I'll show you some things that are kind of close to them as far as colors and that sort of jazz. So hang on tight, and we'll be there soon. Okay, let me go ahead and put some water on these. Just so that we can get those water tests going. Like I said, the chromatography, nothing really to look at there. I'm just gonna let these sit. I'm gonna zoom in. Just gonna let them sit for a sec. Yeah, they're not moving. Let's just go ahead and dab that water away, get it out of the way here. But yeah, there's nothing there, nothing moved there. Let's go ahead and get this one. Yeah, nothing. These are rock solid. I'm pretty darn impressed with the water permanence of these things. I mean, that's all three of them. Oh, there might be just a tiny bit of I might be imagining it, but there might be a tiny red tinge there. That might be my finger. Maybe it's a little pinkish. I don't know, maybe. But if we look at the little, it might be slightly lighter there, but it didn't smudge or anything at all. No movement at all on the black. The blue, yeah, it looks pretty great. It's a little bit lighter right there, so maybe a little something, but not too bad. And nothing came up on here, so that's pretty good. Oh, hi, Stripes. Yeah, Stripes says hi. Do you have more you wanted to say? Okay, so let's take a look at this on some other papers and see what we got going on. All right, so firstly, this is my 20-pound Staples 30% recycled copy paper. This is the stuff you'll find in your office copier, likely. It's the sort of the cheapest paper around. And as you can see, from that fine nib. No feathering or anything. Well, I don't know. If I'm real picky, I would say maybe there's like a couple little dots off to the side of things on that T in Martin, or maybe the G on Garnet, but only maybe, and that might just be a paper thing. The black, also very solid. If I'm super picky and I look very close, the K on dark matter, the very bottom of it, is a couple little feathers. That's about it though. And then yeah, here's the blue. Up here, absolutely no problems from the blue. That looks great. You even get some like shading a little bit on that one. That's pretty great. Now on the back of this page, they are right here. In fact, that is, if you look at this page, those are the ones that did not bleed through. The red came the closest, I guess. There's a couple dots, maybe a couple of dots on the black. How's the blue? Maybe a couple little tiny dots in there. But like, this is a paper that everything bleeds through to some extent. These did the best of anything I've used here. Even the Tom Studio Pigment Black, that bled through more than these did. That's pretty impressive. What's this one up here? Oh, Sailor Yorimiku Kyokyu. That one's so light. I'm not sure. I can barely tell there's even ink there. But yeah, that's pretty darn impressive on copy paper. Good job, Dr. P.H. Martin. Went ahead and used it on Irreful. This is a paper that a lot of people are finding that they like to use for fountain pen inks. This is sample number 141, a little while ago. But yeah, no problems here at all. It felt great to write with. It looks good on the page. I especially like the blue and the red. I mean, the black is a very good pigmented black, but it's kind of less exciting than blue and red to me, if I'm honest. It's a nice color, but it's not blasting off the page like the blue. I think the blue is really great. Maybe I just re-ink this one with blue and just like, let it be blue, but there's no issues here at all. In fact, you can see a little bit of sheen on that blue there. Are you getting any sheen from the red? No. Maybe in the D in design, maybe a little bit. The black is just looking very dark black there. So yeah, these are great. This is from the 99% Invisible City by Roman Mars and Kurt Kolstedt. Stripes here is being very helpful. Hey, that's my... Hey, no, don't do that. Don't be clawing at my mat. No, we don't need to do that. Anything to say to the people? No? Okay. What he wants is for me to feed him. So there you go. There's your clean shot of 99% Invisible City, page 100 there. So yeah, pretty great. This is about bridges. Oh, the railroad bridge and the can opener in Durham, North Carolina. It seems like everybody's got a can opener, but this one's pretty famous as well. So there you go. All right, that's it on Irreful. Looks great. Of course, nothing coming through the back on Irreful. That would be totally weird. But yeah, looks great on here. Lastly, we have our Galen Leather Co. Everyday Book. This is 52 GSM Tomoe River, the old stuff. And here those three are down there. We have the Garnet Red Rose, the blue, and the black all here on Tomoe River. It looks great on all of these. In fact, I think the red actually looks less pink here than it does on some of the other places we looked. But I've had these in here for it's like 8 months. That's a while. I've been sitting on this and sort of waiting to do this. Part of that is just procrastination, but the other part is I wanted to see how it acted if you just like stuck it in a drawer. And so I stuck these in a drawer and didn't use them for the last like 2 months. And they've been fine. So it's pretty darn impressive. Pretty impressive. I do still have one thing I want to warn you about at the end, but we'll get there. Okay, so let's look at some other inks and such like that. This is the Color Dex card here. You can find these from my friend Anna over at wellappointeddesk.com. I'll throw a link in the description, of course, but you see a little bit of sheen there where it went down real heavy. But like I said, you don't really see that so much in the actual writing. Then I'll put up next to that franklin-christoph's red number 187. Right there, another very bright red, a little kind of like scarlet action. Then we have Private Reserve Infinity Ink Infinity Red, which is, like I said, a little bit on the pinkish side like these as well. We've got, let's see what else is close here. We've got Online's Rubin Red. This is a little bit harder to find, but again, kind of in that pink zone. We've got Colorverse. This is from the Colorvent calendar last year in 2024. This was day one, which is super giant. No, buddy. No, I'll feed you when I finish. Goodness. He says hurry, so we're going to hurry. And then lastly, I pulled Tiger Lily because it's another of these like permanent pigmented inks. This is the red from Diamine's Forever Ink series, and it's a very different red than Garnet Red Rose or Red Garnet Rose or whichever order those go in. Just a very different kind of color there. But yeah, another pigmented red. So there you go. There's the red one. All right. Now for black inks, this is the Colodex card here for the black inks, and it's I mean, very, very dark black, this dark matter black there. I did get a little dot of something on there. I don't know what it was. That actually might be the blue. It's like, I don't know, got a dot on it at some point, but like, this doesn't, oh, did we get a little, ooh, did I get a little smear? Did I get it to move? I got it to move just a little bit there off that corner where it was really piled up. The rest of it's fine, but I got it to move there. So if you put enough of that pigment down, you will be able to get it to move a little bit. My fingers are my fingers are still inky from other stuff I've been doing today, but yeah, I got it to move just a skosh where it was really, really dense. That's just like a pool. It doesn't happen otherwise. I never noticed it on any other papers. Then let's see what we've got here. We've got this is Sailor's Kiwaguro, yeah, there we go, Kiwaguro, which is a pigmented black ink that I like a whole lot. It's not nearly as black as dark matter, I don't think, though. And then next to that, of course, Platinum Carbon Black. There are lots and lots of good permanent blacks and pigmented blacks that we can look at there. They all have this sort of sheen, like this shine to them, even though they're like very matte. It's still like kind of got this, well, I don't know, maybe eggshell or something. Maybe not matte. Maybe it's eggshell. Then we've got, this is another pigmented black. This is Tom Studio number 60, their pigment black, which I think is really nice. It's not quite as dark as dark matter black either. And it doesn't have quite the performance on the copy paper as we saw earlier as well. Let's see, do I have any other pigmented blacks in here? Let me see. Yeah, two more. So this one is Super 5 ink. Super 5 ink is really, I really like the ones I've used. I haven't actually had this one in a pen. Wait, no, I did because it's a cartridge. I have had this in a pen. I didn't do a writing sample though, but another very nice dark black. This is probably the closest, honestly, to the dark matter black. This Super 5 Darmstadt black. And then lastly, this is Kala's Obsidian, which is, it's shinier. It's definitely got a lot more shine to it than some of the other ones do. A lot more shine, but another one of those pigmented blacks. There's the pigmented ones. And then I'll show you some non-pigment too, because I've got a lot of, actually I'm going to leave this one up here because it's the closest. There. Then we've got Cross Black, which I think is one that if you can find it and you like a black ink, this is a really good black ink. Like it's just so darn dark and rich. And then Colorverse Sunspot, which is a nice sheeny black ink. You can see that sheen there. Right there. Sailor Black, which is a really good black. I bought this from my friend Greg, who I'll be having a table with when we go to Philly this year. That should be a lot of fun. So come see me and Greg there at that table. But he sold me a partial bottle of this because he's like, you need to try it. I'm like, okay. So I did, and I like it. Twisby Black there, another very dark black. This is Diamine's Good Tidings. This is from Inkvent 2024. It's got sheen in question mark. Yeah, it's got sheen. They didn't tell us what this was. Usually it's sheen and shimmer and all that, but this just got a lot of green sheen on there. I had one more pigmented one. This is Platinum Chokuro, which you got to show next to this because Chokuro is the blackest black. I don't think I've done a review on Chokuro yet, and I should. It's a pen, rather an ink that is in a pen constantly for me, but both are pigmented blacks. Both are supposed to have the same kinds of qualities, but Chokuro is it's just the darkest thing. I don't have anything that's as dark as Platinum Chokuro. This is pretty amazing. So there's that one. What else do we have here? Colorverse, Colorvent Day number 16, Eclipse Silence. This is also from last year. I like when they mix in some blacks in these sets because a good black ink is really good, really cool. And this is a very shiny, glossy black there. And then lastly, penultimately, this is Aurora Black, which is another extremely dark black. Not quite as dark as Chokuro, though. You can see how it's lighter as a black than Chokuro is. And then, very lastly, this is Roaring Klingner's Sketch Ink Lottie, which is a very dark color. Actually, how are we looking next to there? Ooh, that's almost... that's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close. We take it, we tilt it so there's no shine. This one you can't really get to shine. It just sucks light in from all angles, but... If you get just the right angle on Lottie, it's pretty darn close. This is a good one from Roar and Klingner. You don't hear much about these sketch ink series, I don't think, but they are really, really nice. So check those out when you find them. But there you go. That's the black ones. Let's go grab the blues. Okay, so here is Dr. P.H. Martin's Edge Blue. You can see right here where there's a lot of ink. There is a fair amount of sheen. Let's see if I can make that one move. Yeah, if I smudge on it, I can get it to move just a little bit where there's a lot of ink. So that's, I think, true of most pigmented inks. But if you get enough of it in one place, you can kind of get it to smudge a little bit. Not too much, though. So there's that Edge Blue. All right, now we've got Blackstone Barrier Reef Blue. Has a lot of the same kinds of qualities going on there, but that one's unobtainable now. I'll feed you soon. Goodness, he's so whiny tonight. Then we've got Esterbrook Aqua, which I think is a little bit lighter than either of these two, and it doesn't have any of that sheeny quality, and of course no pigments. We've got Leonardo Officiana Italiana Blue, which is a really nice blue. I like this a lot. It came packaged with a Pura that I bought a while back. I think I also had another bottle of this as well. This is a really good blue. Then Robert Oster and Galen Leather Admiral Blue. I love this one. It's got to have shown up in my favorites. I've had it in so many pens over time. I just really, really like this one. It looks really good in that vanishing. I think the vanishing point gave it the most, like the best look. Look at that. Super, super good. Makes me want to do that again. Although I did have this ink in that pen for like a year or something. I just kept refilling it. It was great. Then we've got Mont Blanc BMW Blue, which is, I think, lighter, but also this is one, I don't know if you can get this anymore. It was always a little bit hard to get, but I don't know if it's still around. But it's a little bit lighter. Still a nice looking blue, though. And then Monteverde's Capri Blue, which is pretty close to the BMW, not really as dark as Edge. And then one last one, that's Noodler's Blue. If you're like, I don't want to support Noodlers, but I do want a really good blue, hey, support Dr. P.H. Martin's, because it's a better blue from, it's better companies, so, we can do better. We can get some Edge Blue. It's pretty great. All right, so there you go. These are the Dr. P.H. Martin's Ocean Series colors. Get them while they're hot. I have heard some rumblings that like P.H. Martin's might be going away. Like the family is just going to shut down the brand or something. I don't know if that's true or what the timeline is, but I would say if you want to grab some of these, maybe, don't dilly-dally. Oh, that's right. I was going to tell you that one thing that I found out. And that is that these inks, the one problem I have had, honestly, is that, let's see if I can see it. There you go. You see that? That's a layer of pigment at the bottom. You can't really see it in the black one, can you? If I had enough light, maybe I could see. But when I was refilling that red pen today, I noticed that there was a nice thick layer of red pigment at the bottom. Is it going to do it now? It's not doing it now. Now you can see bubbles and stuff against the bottom now. So I was like, well, I'll just give it a good shake. I shook it for a long time, and it did not really want to budge. So this pigment, I think, when you get a really fine pigment, sometimes it can be hard to mix in. I wouldn't put a marble in here because there is the eyedropper bottle, but what I did is I just took it and I put it in my ultrasonic with water up to like here, because these labels don't care about water at all. They're just like completely waterproof. I put it in water up to about here, and I just let it run for like 3 minutes. And when I went back to it, it was mixed in. So, throw it in ultrasonic for a few minutes and it will just paint shit. Or if you got like a paint mixer, I guess that'd work too. But just sit there and vibrate real hard for a couple of minutes, and that will let you mix all the pigment back in there. But if you let it sit around for a while, and I did let these sit around for a long time, you will get a layer of pigment down there, and it will be kind of hard to move. I guess you could just like take a screwdriver or something and moosh around in there to, mix up this layer and then give it some good shakes. I think it just compacts itself in tiny little layers until it's just a I don't know, concrete or something at the bottom. But, once you get it mixed back in, it's great. And it stays that way for a long time. But if you let it sit for months and months, it will do that. So that's the thing to be aware of. Maybe don't let it sit in your pen forever. Although I didn't have any problems with this one. This one seems to have been fine. Even though I let it sit for a long time, it seems fine. Didn't stop working, obviously. So, that's cool. But for the bottles, that's something to keep in mind. Okay, that's my one caveat with these is, just don't let it sit around forever. You're going to have to put it in your ultrasonic to get it shaken all back into a solution. But there you go. All right, so thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think about these, or if you have favorites in this genre that I wasn't showing there. But these are powerfully good inks. They are extremely water resistant and work really well in fountain pens. So, that's the after water test. Pretty darn impressive, I think. All right, that's it. I will see y'all in another video soon. Until then, think about what you put out in the world and make it a better place. Peace out, everybody.